So today marks 7 months living in Thailand. Pretty wild to think about, but after that amount of time, how do we feel? What is up, guys? Welcome back to Tempus TV. So after 7 months in Thailand, today we're gonna be discussing the goods, the bads, the things I miss, the things I don't. Would I continue to stay here? What's plans for the future? As well as a little backstory if you're new to the channel. I know there's quite a few of you that have just showed up and subscribed. Thank you very much. But we're just gonna kind of break it down and see how we really feel after that amount of time. So I feel for some real perspective, I wanna give you guys a little bit of a backstory. If you are new or I haven't really broken it down where I'm from, what were my plans? Why did I decide to come to Thailand? Why did I decide to commit to YouTube? All these things. So we're just gonna kind of give you a little backstory on who's Tempus. So just a little bit about me. I'm an American. I just turned 32 years old recently. Thank you guys for all the happy birthdays. And I was living in Phoenix, Arizona. So throughout my life, I've done a little bit of everything, honestly. I've spent quite a lot of time in restaurants, bartending. I was a professional DJ for a while. I've done social media marketing. I've driven semi-trucks. I've literally done a little bit of everything. But about this time last year, I kind of decided that I was ready to go on to my next adventure. I was currently working at a job, and unfortunately we had to part ways. So I kind of hit one of those moments where it's like, do I want to just continue? Do I want to keep doing the things that I've been doing? I'm about to turn 32. Do I want to stay committed? And who knows how long I'm going to be at this place doing the same stuff. So for a long time, I wanted to be a full-blown filmmaker. It's always something that's interested me. It's always something that I dabbled in a little bit, as well as graphic design, things like that for my DJ career. And I felt like it was just time to get it done. So at that point, I started to look around to see where I could go. I knew with what I had savings-wise, and I knew the amount of time I was going to need was going to be pretty extensive because this is a whole new thing for me. I had to learn all the new stuff, the ins and outs of YouTube, filmmaking, how to schedule everything, how to just create videos in general, how to find a niche that you guys would find interesting and helpful, as well as fulfilling to me from a creative standpoint. So I started doing some research. I started looking at places around the world, and I landed on Thailand. Big part of it is just because of the amount of money you can survive off of here. So obviously with YouTube, I'm still making quote unquote Western income, so you can stretch that a lot farther, as well as my savings. The amount of savings I had in the States would have just not really got me that far. So once I figured that out, I started doing some research, started looking around, started watching some YouTube videos, and I just decided to start selling assets. I sold almost everything I had. I sold my dirt bike, I sold my car, most of my clothes. I pretty much got rid of everything and kind of just pulled the trigger. I bought my tickets. They were super cheap at the time. I made sure to buy non-refundable ones, so I knew I had to do it. And within 3 months, I was on a flight heading here to Pattaya, Thailand. Now, this was a bit intimidating to say the least. I talked to all my friends and everything, and of course there's a big part of me that was excited, but at the same time, I had never lived overseas, so I was like, I don't really know how this is gonna be. And to be honest, the first month or two I was here, I was debating on whether I had made the right decision or not because of what I was doing for work and not because I wasn't enjoying making videos. It's just always hard to move to a new place where you don't know anybody. You don't really have like a safety net of friends and people to help you out with stuff you don't know, especially when you're in a foreign country and you're kind of just figuring things out. But just like anything else, once you persevere and kind of stick with it and make a plan for yourself and you stay committed and you don't give up on it, it feels really good. So after a month or two, I started to get a bit more comfortable and started to open up my horizon. One great thing about Thailand in general, it's super easy to meet people. So I did make some friends pretty quick, people that kind of helped me out, with just like the normal day-to-day stuff, how to get a bank account and how to do all that stuff that's completely different here than it is in the United States. So after a while, once I had some friends, you start to, wiggle in and things start to just feel normal. Now my day-to-day here just feels like a normal day. Every once in a while, something pops up where I'm like, okay, well, I'm definitely in Thailand. I'm not at home anymore. But that's part of the fun for me. That's part of the allure. And that's one reason why I'm really glad that I came here. I'm glad that I stayed committed and it's been great. I met some great people. I met some not so great people, but you meet plenty of them in the States as well. So coming here and making new friends and staying committed was one of my favorite things. So now that we've got the backstory out of the way, how do I feel after 7 months of living in Thailand? Well, long story short, happy. I'm glad that I'm here. I'm glad that I got to experience new things. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of stuff from the States that I do miss. 99% of it's food, but of course you miss your friends, you miss your family, you miss the availability, you miss being able to go to the spots that you grew up and see the things that you like to see, but at the same time, I'm learning those things here as well, so I'm picking up those new spots and I'm making new memories here as well, which is things that I will never forget, and I guarantee as soon as I go on to the next thing, Thailand will always hold a very fond place in my heart, just because this is the place that I kind of, got out and spread my wings a little bit, got things going, and I think Thailand will be a place that I'm continuing to go to and from for probably the rest of my life. So the list of things that I enjoy about Thailand could go on and on, but I have talked about them in some of my recent videos. If you want to jump back, and I talked about 7 major life lessons that I've learned living in Thailand, and a lot of those are really great, but a lot of the stuff that I really enjoy about Thailand is just kind of the day-to-day feel of everything. So the food is great. Obviously, you can get food from all over the world here that's super good, not just Thai food. Everywhere is super inclusive. It's generally easy to find places to go and meet people who have like-minded interests. Another big thing here is the people are very open. A lot of people are really interested in making friends from overseas because they want to learn about where you're from. They want to show you around their countries. So generally, Thai people are pretty easy to make friends with. I'm sure if you're from the States, you know sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to meet new people. You kind of get sucked in your circle and then you don't really branch out from that. But here, you're kind of forced to do that. And generally, people are super open to making friends from other parts of the world. Another one of my favorite things is probably the obvious, and it's probably a reason that you're looking at Thailand, whether it be for vacation or you're looking for somewhere new to live. And that's just the cost of living. It's just so much easier and much less stressful here to have your things square, and you can just make honestly such a small amount of money and live such a better life here compared to the amount of money and the salaries that you'll need to have in the States to be comfortable. Generally, the things that I enjoy and the things that I spend money on are very cheap here. Food has always been my big one, and food here is just crazy cheap. So it's nice to not have to worry. If you want to go out to a restaurant, you want to take somebody out, you want to go on a date or something like that, it's just much more attainable here. And it's not really like the States where you're like, oh, well, I just met this girl, I want to take her to a nice place, and you wake up the next day and check your bank account and you're like, was that worth it? So generally the things here that I enjoy are just much more accessible for a lot less money, which is a great thing about Thailand. Is there anything about Thailand that I don't enjoy? I mean, of course, you're gonna find things in certain places, no matter where you are, things that aren't perfect. Nowhere is. You're gonna have to sacrifice certain things to enjoy other things when you come to Thailand. But all of them, honestly, are very like surface level type stuff. One of the only things that is kind of a pain here, that is a bummer, is if you are coming here from overseas and you're not old enough for the retirement visa, like things like that, logistically it can be a little bit difficult to figure out how to stay here long term, but it is accessible, especially if you've got the means financially. Most of the other things that might get under your skin are very surface level things, so not really that bad. Traffic, infrastructure, things like that, but those are all things that you just get used to after a while, and it's not that big a deal. It can be a little bit intimidating sometimes when you're dealing with any like judicial stuff. You're dealing with visas, you're dealing with, bank accounts, things like that. Those can be a little intimidating sometimes because they do things a lot differently here than they do in the States. But especially if you have Thai friends, it's all things that you can figure out super easy. So after selling everything I own, moving 10,000 miles away from home where I don't know a single person, don't really know anything about the country itself, do I wish I would have done anything differently? Well, yes and no. Like we said earlier, getting here and not knowing much can be really intimidating, and it was at first. I was honestly wondering if I had gotten in over my head, but after moving past that, and after just, you get one problem, you figure it out, you go on to the next. So after figuring those things out, it helped me build even more confidence in myself and my ability to just go with the flow and figure things out, which is how I've always liked to live my life anyway. So there's part of me that kind of wishes I would have planned a little bit better, got some more information, just so when I got here and landed, I was just kind of ready to go off the rip. But at the same time, learning those things as I went and figuring it out gave me more confidence for even more places that I want to go. So next time I end up in a new place, I know I can figure things out, and it's not that big a deal. So there's part of me that says I would do it differently, and then the other part of me is like, probably not. I think I like the way that I did it, and moving forward, when we go on to our next place, I have a lot of plans for this channel, so you're gonna see much more places than just Thailand. So when we get to those places, it's gonna be kind of the same way, which is a big way I wanted this channel to be anyway. I wanted to create content for you guys that you could see what it's like when you don't really do enough research and you just kind of land and figure it out, and what the problems are and the things you're gonna run into and how to figure out how to solve them. So after 7 months, it's very safe to say that I am 100% happy with my decision. I'm happy that you guys are here sharing it with me. I'm happy that we can go back and we can look at all this stuff from the start, and when this channel gets to where I want it to be and I'm providing even more for you guys, we'll be able to look back and be like, wow, this is where we started from, which is super cool. If that's a journey you want to be a part of, go ahead and click subscribe down below, drop a like on the video, that way YouTube knows you're enjoying the content and we'll show you more of it. If you'd like to see more from Thailand right now, go ahead and click the video on screen, and as always, I hope you guys have a great day. We'll catch you in the next one. Tell somebody you love them.